Elias Samson, who was apparently not a drifter anymore, came out and sang. Massive heat. Sung his weekly horrific song. Even the hardcores hate Elias Samson. This is a win. They finally found a guy who's legitimately hated by everybody.
Yeah, but not when, well, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's like there's different kinds of heat. All I know is that when he was on, it was just like, get him off my TV. This is just a waste of my time on a pay-per-view.
Well, it was a waste of time. That's true.
You know, it was like okay, they don't have enough time, and they didn't, to fill 3 hours. So we're going to just send him out to kill time. So that's what it was, and that's what it felt like. So, you know, I would have booed too. Just get him off. You know, I'd rather they give 5 more minutes to Bayley, which they didn't do.
Dude, they should have taken 5 minutes off this match and just got it over with. We had Bayley and Alexa, kendo stick on a pole. So this here's how the match starts. Alexa, the heel, says, "Hey, Bayley, go ahead and go get the stick." Bayley, like an idiot, goes to get it, and of course, she gets jumped.
She gets hit from behind. Yeah, I know.
So Alexa's beating on her. They go up top. Literally a minute, 2 minutes into the match, they get the stick. It falls into the ring. They both fall outside.
It was like a minute in.
Yeah, a minute in. So they fight for it, and Bayley gives Alexa belly to Bayley in the ring, grabs the kendo stick.
No. Alexa whacked her like 6 times before she ever did the belly to belly.
There's 2 belly to Baileys. She hit the first one, got the stick, and then she chases Alexa. They run around the ring, and finally Alexa ends up in the ring, and we are told that she has no place to go because she's in a ring, and there's ropes and air surrounding her. So Bayley goes to hit her, and Alexa spears her. And she gets the kendo stick, beats the absolute hell out of her. Bayley hits another belly to Bayley, goes to get the stick again, but Alexa shoves her. Bayley bonks her head on the stick, gets caned, she gets DDT'd, and Alexa pins her. And that's the whole match.
This was mind-boggling. I mean, in all seriousness...
Don't say.
In all seriousness, this may have been the worst laid out match as far as like push talent that I've seen all year. Because even like the because it was relatively short. Because even like the Takahashi,
it was like
Kushida,
5 minutes.
Yes, 5 minutes. Even like the Takahashi Kushida match, which was like 2 minutes, was like a hell of a 2 minutes, and actually told a story. And there was like when it was over, it was kind of like, well, we didn't get the match that we wanted, but when it was over, it was like, I wasn't mad about it. It's like, okay, there's a purpose. You want to tell people that you can end a match in 2 minutes, and they gave you a hell of a 2 minutes. This was like a totally shitty 5 minutes, and when it was over, it was like, I felt like I was watching a freaking eclipse and my eyes were burned out or something.
So that was the match, and I guess we see where they go. Is Bayley going to get an automatic rematch off this performance like they normally do? I don't know.
And
by the way, do you remember when she lost in her hometown, and then like she lost the next night?
Yeah, in Sacramento. That's because it's close to her hometown.
And then we couldn't figure out what's going on, and then what was going on was she was going to get another chance to lose again.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the idea. I think that they believe, because of Daniel Bryan, again, that's how you get a babyface over, is you just keep humiliating him, and the people will get behind him. Man, I forgot that period where he was a babyface and he was getting booed out of the building like she was here tonight. Yeah, but you know, it's like, I think that the whole deal is that in their minds, okay, you know, you and I both know that Daniel Bryan was a complete accident and happened not because of them, but in spite of them.
I know they think they did it.
I think
no. But my point is, they're trying the same thing with Bayley, and it's so clearly not working. Bayley is getting booed. Like, this ain't working. Are they blind? Are they deaf?
It ain't working. You're right about that. It ain't working. So, what are you gonna do? I mean, they may go. Well, they may go with Nia Jax next. I think they're going to go with Nia Jax and so Nia Jax would then, against Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax would end up being a babyface, which is way too early for her to be a babyface. So there you go. And then I don't know, whatever. I was just, when this thing was just mind-boggling in every way. This whole program from start to finish has been just a complete disaster. I mean, the angles have sucked. The matches have been okay. I mean, actually, some of the matches were okay. This one wasn't, but the other ones have been okay. But the finishes have just been stupid across the board. I mean, that Sacramento finish, the San Jose finish was stupid, but the Sacramento finish was unforgivably stupid. And then the angle that they did last week, at least the one thing about the angle is I think that they really do know, unlike with like the Bray Wyatt thing, I think they really do know that angle sucked just from Bayley's promo, because Bayley's promo was pretty much like, the angle sucked and let's move on.
We had the Hardys versus Sheamus and Cesaro in a cage match. And this is actually my second favorite match on the show. Like, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was the second best match because he had the Aries match, but I really enjoyed this match. But oh my God.
That made no sense to me, though.
The whole story of this match was both team members had to go over the top and touch the floor to win.
Or the door.
Or the door.
They never used the door, but in theory, you couldn't pin. So they threw that out the window.
Yep, no pins, no submissions.
Yeah.
So Booker T is just fixated on the idea that they've got to go over at the exact same time.
Well, they pretty much
He's comparing it to no. He's saying the exact same time. This is like getting 2 hole-in-ones in a row. Their feet have to touch instantaneously.
Well, that's ridiculous.
And he's going on and on and on about this, and then. My only problem with this match, and it drove me nuts, is
I had big problems with this match.
Every time one guy started to climb, the other 2 guys would stop him. And meanwhile, the announcers are talking about how it's stupid to climb because if you get out, your partner's going to be alone.
Right, he's going to get killed.
You're telling me how stupid everybody in this match is because they should just let a guy out. And they kept stopping guys over and over and over again. The announcers are telling us how stupid it is to climb over by yourself. Finally, Jeff and Matt are both going over. And they stop Matt, and Jeff gets out. So now it's 2-on-1 against Matt. This was where the match actually started to... I enjoyed the match from this point forward. It made sense. Jeff's trying to get back in. He needs to get back in. He didn't mean to get out first, but he did. Now his partner's getting killed. Finally comes off top. Or he goes up top and he comes off with a whisper in the wind, and he wipes out Sheamus and Cesaro. And fans chant, "This is awesome." So everybody's down, and Matt starts to drag his brother towards the door. Sheamus and Cesaro, who just got wiped out, by the way, they're fine. They start climbing over the cage, and they manage to hit the ground before Matt can get his brother out the door. They win the titles. I don't know. I hated it, but I loved it. I don't even know how to explain it. I enjoyed the match once they got one guy out.
I neither hated it nor loved it. I thought that the match was okay, even good, but it was a total disconnect with me because, to me, once your story of the match is preposterous and doesn't work, it's a disconnect. Because the whole thing...
Well, there's a lot of matches like that.
Yeah, but wrestling is not like moves. Wrestling is about stories. That's why I get mad when great stories are thrown away, and in this case, it's like the story, the entire concept of what they were doing in the match made no sense based on the ridiculous rules of the match, and the ridiculous rules made no sense either. So it's I just couldn't. The rules ruined the match. That's all I could say. Which, I think the rules hurt the Austin Aries match too. That was a stupid match too.
I just feel that if the heels, if everybody would have tried, forget it, who cares? We're wasting our time on this. Wrestling does not need to be this complicated. Just have a damn cage match, and whoever wins, wins. Pinfall, submission, over the top, don't do anything stupid, don't overbook it, just have a match.
Well, the whole thing is that they really didn't want to beat the Hardys.
Okay, so have a normal cage match where you can have near falls and near submissions or whatever, but the heels go over the top.
But they wanted a fluke finish.
I'm sure you could still do this exact same fluke finish in a normal cage match and not have it be stupid.
You could. But, anytime you do the cage and, the whole idea is the photo finish thing. I mean, the photo finish thing, the first time you see the photo finish is actually a really good finish. But once you've seen the photo finish thing, it's like now it's like destroys the entire concept of the cage match anyway. So when they're throwing guys into the cage, and it's like it's a non-violent cage match is kind of like a oxymoron, and that's what I kind of felt watching this. This whole match is oxymoronic, even though that's not really a word. I just made it up because it's the word that fits this match.
And not to mention, since we're on the topic of stupid baby faces, it was in fact the Hardys who demanded a cage match, and then they lost it.
Yes, you're correct on that.